school, gang. You know what I'm saying? I hate school. You know what I'm saying? So if I feel like I'm in school, that's a problem. You know what I mean? But anyways, man, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy, man, Jay Willie Silly, a.k.a. Mr. Take It Easy. Before you end up like Beezy, make sure y'all follow my Twitch, man. Subscribe to my second channel. Everything you know about your boy Jay is in the description down below. You know what I'm saying? But nah, though, man, we got 3 very disturbing, true, scary stories. And like I said, I can't believe I didn't say this to the ladies and to the gentlemen. You know what I mean? Happy New Year, I guess. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a regular day for me. I really don't get, you know what I'm saying, happy about New Year's. You know, I'm glad I made it through the year, but, you know, it's just another day. Honestly, I don't really overhype it. I don't have New Year's resolutions. You know what I'm saying? I'm already living the resolutions. You know what I'm saying? But I wonder how y'all resolutions turning out to be. You know what I mean? You know, a lot of y'all ain't gonna put up with no more BS. A lot of y'all gonna go to the gym. You went to the gym today. Oh, look at you. Already broke the New Year's resolution. How many of y'all broke your New Year's resolution already? I'm finna go to the gym. I'm finna stop eating wrong. I'm finna drink this. I'm finna, oh, look at you. It's January 2nd, January. You already failed. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So I told you, it's a whole bunch of talkers and not a whole bunch of doers. You know what I mean? Love saying about what you gonna do, but never do it. Stop writing down and all that. Girl, you ain't finna do it, and boy, you ain't finna do it. Let's go and watch the video. Sit your little thick self down somewhere, because you not finna. Hold on, I forgot to hit a thumbnail time. You ain't going to the gym. Sit your little thick self down somewhere.
Before we get into today's stories, I want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, ZocDoc.
Hey, get the ZocDoc on my face.
Isn't important.
Yeah, shut up. Shut up.
It only takes a few clicks.
Story 1. By the nature guy.
I went camping alone last winter with my dog Roscoe, and it's something I'll never do again. I had taken a few days off work and wanted to get away from people. I loaded my truck with my gear and drove up a long, narrow trail that cut deep into a state forest. Okay. All I'm saying is, like, this right here, I told y'all, is this right here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see what's comfortable about this, G. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, bro. Hey, man, somebody tell me how long I've been streaming, please, and thank you. But you know what I'm saying? Like, this right here, I don't get it, man. The camping and all this. Bro, I don't know. Every time I look at a scary story, bro, and I don't know, every time I hear about a camping horror, that junk just be making me mad, bro. It's like, bro, like what's so, why do people camp? You know what I'm saying? I really want to know why people camp. You know what I'm saying? Like, if we got any campers, in the chat, I want to know why people camp. Like, what is it about camping that makes it so enjoyable? You know what I'm saying? Just inform me, man. I want to know. The road was barely maintained.
Because I don't see nothing joy about.
And there were no other cars anywhere. After driving for almost an hour, I parked at a small pull-off that looked like it hadn't been used in a long time. From there, I hiked another 20 minutes with my pack and Roscoe.
Look at this!
To a small clearing surrounded by thick trees.
Look at this!
The snow was deep and untouched. There were no footprints or signs of anyone else being around recently. That was what I wanted. I set my pack down, cleared a spot for a tent, and let Roscoe wander around while I worked. He stayed close, sniffing the snow in the trees and just jumping around playing. I pitched the tent, staked it down hard because the ground was frozen, and laid out my sleeping pad and winter-rated sleeping bag inside. I knew it was going to be a cold night, well below freezing.
It was going to be cold.
Properly. Thermal base layers, thick socks, a fleece, and a heavy jacket stayed on even after camp was set. Once the tent was ready, I gathered dead wood and built a small fire pit. I started a fire and let it burn down until I had a steady flame. I cooked dinner over it, just a simple meal, and sat on a log eating while Roscoe lay near the fire. The woods were quiet in that deep winter way where sound feels almost non-existent. I learned a long time ago from my dad that snow actually absorbs sound. After I ate, Roscoe suddenly stood up and started barking toward the trees. It didn't concern me at first. Deer were everywhere out there, and he had barked at them before. I told him to relax, and he did after a minute, sitting back down. I checked the time and decided I'd stay up a bit longer by the fire before turning in. I always carried a handgun when camping in remote places, and it was holstered at my side like it always was.
Okay.
I felt fine at that point. About 20 minutes later, Roscoe started barking again, louder this time. Then I heard it too. Footsteps moving through the snow somewhere out in the woods. I stood up and listened. The steps stopped, then started again. Roscoe went from barking to growling, then suddenly went silent. He stood staring straight ahead toward the trees. That was when I felt uneasy. I followed his gaze and saw a shape at the edge of the tree line. Someone was standing there, half hidden in the darkness, just barely lit by the fire. I called out, saying that he scared me, and telling Roscoe it was okay. The figure didn't move at first. Then he stepped forward slightly, enough for me to see that it was a man. He asked what I was doing out there, that deep in the woods. His tone wasn't friendly.
What you doing out here? What is you talking about, bro? Talking about what I'm doing out here. At least what he doing out here, he camping, bro. Bro, what you doing out here, bro? You know what I'm saying? One thing I know for certain, you're never going to find a sane man or sane woman, you know what I'm saying, inside the woods, bro. You know what I'm saying? This man just walking around in the woods. No telling if he just buried a body. I just don't feel like, you know what I'm saying, like for him, he camping, okay? It's an excuse of why he in the woods. But for bro to just be walking around in the woods when it's snowing, you know what I mean? That right there is a red flag off the rip. You know, I ain't trying to talk with you, you know what I mean?
I told him.
I'm in the middle of the woods, bro. I don't know who the freak you is.
Just getting out into nature with my dog. He didn't respond right away. He just stood there watching me. I could feel the situation turning wrong. I told him calmly.
I ain't gonna lie. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was like 3 days ago, gang. I'm telling y'all, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, people be trying to test it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Cause so I was heading over to my auntie spot. You know what I'm saying? Cause y'all know me, like I told y'all, I'm a militant mother effer. Y'all know that. So, heading over to my auntie spot. Before I go to the auntie spot, you know what I'm saying? I stopped by a little cigar lounge, you know what I'm saying? I ain't had a cigar in a minute, you know what I'm saying? Spark up a little cigar. You know what I mean? So as went to go get the cigar, it was a dude in the car. You feel me? You know me, I'm gonna show you. I'm showing you. I see, bro. I pull up, bro just staring. Pull up, bro just staring. You know me, I just start staring, G. I'm one of them people, bro, you feel me? You stare at me, gang, I ain't gonna stop staring at you, gang. I'm just one of them people. You gonna drop your head before I drop my head. So I get out the car. You know what I mean? Shoot, I'm on me. Got Nina on me. I got Nina on me. You feel me? So I ain't tweaking. So I, walk toward the cigar store. He dropped his head. I'm looking back. I'm telling him, I do things, bro, to let people know, like, bro, I'm on that, bro. You feel me? So I get back in the car. Got my cigar. I'm going back in the car. Bro just started staring me down, gang. You know what I'm saying? Like, staring me down. So I start staring him down. You feel me? I get in my car. This man just steady, just still looking at me, and I'm just looking at him. Crank up my car. Put it in reverse. I'm looking at him just like this. Put it in drive. I drive the freak off. Bro stared at me until I left the gas station. But he didn't get out of that car, though. That we gotta understand about crazy people, bro. Crazy people, they prey on weak people. He was trying to see if I was weak. You know what I'm saying? He was trying to see if I was a lick. You feel me? And I ain't stopped looking at you one time. I ain't dropped my head one time. Letting you know, yeah, it's gonna be that way. Like, well, bro, right here, I'm looking dead at. I'm done talking. Done all the talking. I'm done trying to commute. I'm done talking, going back and forth, gang. You staring at me, gang. I'm finna lay you down, bro. I'm finna lay law down, gang. F all the friendly junk. F all that acting like I'm cool with it. F all that acting like I'm friendly with it. I ain't cool with you staring at me, G.
Armed. The man slightly laughed and said something about me threatening him instead of inviting him to join me.
Man, get freak out my face.
Was. Then he turned and walked back into the darkness. his footsteps fading into the woods. I stood there for a long time after that.
Okay, hold on. Let's go in and time out the people that's acting crazy in the chat. I'm sorry. Let's go and time out the people that's acting crazy in the chat. Go look at the chat and go look at them. You know what I'm saying? For all my mods, if somebody's acting crazy, you know what I'm saying, go and time them out. You know what I mean? That's all I got to say. Time them out. Do your job.
Staring at the trees, Roscoe stayed close to me. I didn't like any of it, but eventually I told myself he was gone. I put out the fire carefully, throwing snow on it and stirring the ashes until there was nothing left that could glow. I didn't want light drawing attention. I crawled into my tent and sealed it up. Inside, I did everything I could to stay warm. I laid my sleeping pad down to keep the cold ground from draining heat from my body. I stayed fully dressed, pulled on a knit hat, and cinched my sleeping bag tight around my shoulders. I kept a hand warmer near my core.
That boy Keita Freak. You know what I'm saying? Got an op in the chat. Op K. You know what I mean? I just did a video about y'all, Georgia. We're gonna watch that after the what's the name. Let bro hear what the freak was going on with that oppy boy.
My feet. Roscoe curled up next to me, his body heat helping more than anything. I lay there listening to the woods, or rather, the extreme silence. After a while, Roscoe started growling again. Then I heard what he was growling at. Footsteps in the snow.
What came back?
I stopped and Roscoe quieted, but his ears were still perked up. Then the footsteps started again, closer this time, and slower than before. They came right up to the tent and stopped. Roscoe began howling loudly. I whispered for him to stop, terrified of drawing attention. When he did stop, he went back to growling. Whoever it was just stood outside the tent. I could hear subtle movement, like the shift of weight in the snow. I had my gun in my hand now.
Get it.
I didn't want to make threats. I didn't want to be forced to follow through with the threats. I've never actually shot anyone.
Oh my God, bro. Look, you didn't have it in you?
I don't think I have it in me to kill someone, even in self-defense.
What? Boy, I got it in me to kill a motherfucker in self-defense. I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh my mama, I got it in me. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, hey, boy, I got it in me, bro. You know what I'm saying? I promise you, bro. I got it in me, cuz. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. Bro, shots probably would have got let off right here. You know what I mean? Shots probably would have got, I probably would let them shots off. You know what I mean? You talking about I got it in them? I got it in me. You know what I'm saying? And then you come back again? This mother effer came back again. You know what I'm saying? This mother effer then left. You see I got knocked. I show you I got knocked. You left and then you came back again. Oh, this mother effer trying to kill me. You know what I'm saying? It's either me or him, mother effer. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I'm thinking. You feel me? It's bro came back again. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I would have felt offended, bro. You know I got knocked. You know I got pipe out here, bro, and you still come back to play with me. Bro, I gotta kill something.
Finally, I couldn't take it.
I gotta kill this mother.
I cocked the gun and
There we
said
go.
clearly that I had a gun and that whoever was there needed to leave now. But realistically, who else could it have been besides that creepy guy from before? There was silence for a few seconds. Then I heard footsteps again, moving away from the tent. Slowly at first, then faster before disappearing into the woods. I didn't unzip the tent to look out. I stayed frozen for hours. Roscoe stayed alert the entire time, which was the only reason I even felt remotely comfortable eventually nodding off. I certainly wouldn't have if I were alone. I barely slept, drifting off only in short bursts.
So why you still there?
When the sky finally began to lighten, I packed up as fast as I could at the crack of dawn. We hiked back to my truck and drove away. I never went back to that part of the woods again, and I never will. Creeps like that guy really make life scary sometimes, and remind you that you can never really let your guard down.
I'm telling you, boy. I'm trying to tell y'all, boy. Trying to tell y'all. You know, I just seen, you know what I'm saying, on a little notification, you know, that, I think 40 people got killed on New Year's Day. You know what I mean? That's why I be trying to tell y'all, G. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why people go out on New Year's Day. If anything, I'm trying to make sure Did I make it in 20? Man, 40 people that got killed going into New Year's Day. You know what I'm saying? A little fire or something happened. 40 people. Couldn't even make it to January 2nd. You know what I'm saying? January 1st, 40 people that got killed just like that on New Year's Day. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
July 4th weekend in 2025. I drove from Melbourne, Florida to Charleston, South Carolina to visit a good friend named Mark I hadn't seen in years. He was there on an internship for his law program and staying in a house in the city. I was visiting for the weekend and spending the night downstairs on a couch by some windows. After a smooth drive, I arrived in Charleston, and we played some pickleball before nightfall. When the night settled in, I went back downstairs to the couch by the windows that faced another apartment building and a small labyrinth of alleyways with an abandoned house across the street.
Oh, shoot.
The next day, after playing more pickleball in the morning and hanging out, we went to the main Charleston market. We walked through it and eventually came out near the docks by the water. That's when we saw him.
Saw who?
A man in a wedding suit was shambling down the road near the water. He wore a crisp bow tie and clean dress shoes, and his suit looked freshly pressed. He had long black curly hair and a tan complexion. The market behind us was loud and busy, yet this man moved alone across the street with a slow, detached movement. He didn't notice us and seemed to be in his own world. If we crossed the street, we would have walked straight into him. Instinctively, I wanted to avoid him. I grabbed Mark by the arm and told him we were not crossing. We walked to the right, deeper into the city, and picked up our pace. He was moving slowly, so we created distance easily. I told Mark it was strange and that the guy didn't look homeless. His clothes were too clean, too crisp. Something about him felt wrong. Mark agreed. We kept walking for a while. A few streets later, on another busy stretch of Charleston, we looked toward a shop and saw him again.
Really?
That same man, with the same shambling movement. He was far down the street, diagonal to us, moving at the same slow pace. Somehow, he caught up to us, even though there was no clear way he could have reached that spot without us seeing him. I pointed him out to Mark.
The ghost?
We both stared. It made no sense. He was in a completely different part of the city, but moving exactly the same way. We pushed it aside and kept exploring Charleston. The next day was July 4th, and that night we watched the fireworks on an island about 20 minutes from the city. By then, we had mostly forgotten about the man in the suit. We assumed he was just some strange person wandering around, but something about him set off alarm bells. It felt out of place, wrong. That night, we decided to go on a ghost tour, which we had already planned before the trip. It was my last night in Charleston on July 5th, and the city was packed. It was a busy Saturday night with crowds everywhere, lights pouring from restaurants, and that historical atmosphere Charleston has after sunset. We finished the ghost tour and walked through the main area of the city, filled with restaurants and nightlife. The street was crowded, and a particular wave of people was moving toward us, and quite fast. As this group approached, both Mark and I noticed something at the exact same moment. It was him, the same man in the same wedding suit, with the same bow tie and the same black curly hair, shambling in the middle of the crowd as if he had been placed there. He stood out instantly. His movement was completely different from everyone else. He didn't blend in. No one around him noticed.
Nobody noticed him?
Two people were walking right beside him, and he brushed between them without either of them reacting.
What the freak?
He kept the same slow, unsettling pace while the entire crowd moved normally around him.
This motherfucker's spirit.
He glanced at us for a brief second, and then continued forward. It was as if he was tied to the movement of the crowd without truly being part of it. Mark and I looked at each other in shock. It made no sense. He didn't belong there, and something in both of us recognized that immediately. We watched him move down the street until the crowd thinned out. When it did, we saw him clearly, still shambling, still moving at that same unnatural pace, disappearing into a darker side street until he turned a corner. We were quiet, not panicking, but deeply unsettled. The same man in the same suit appearing multiple times in different parts of the city, always shambling, always out of place. both of us knew something was wrong. Later that night, we returned to the house. Mark went upstairs to his room, and I went downstairs to sleep. I shut the blinds and tried to settle in. At some point in the middle of the night, I woke up to a tap on the window. I froze. After a few moments, I forced myself to look.
How would you look
out
out
the blinds slightly and looked down the alley? At the far end, I saw the back of a man turning the corner. It was him again. He moved out of sight, but right before he disappeared, he looked back toward the window. I told Mark the next morning. I explained what I saw, and even he admitted that the entire experience was disturbing. He doesn't believe in anything paranormal, and he's extremely logical and grounded, but even he was shaken. As for me, I'm more spiritually sensitive, and this experience stayed with me, and I also know it's with Mark months later. We'll never forget that weekend. The man in the suit felt real and unreal at the same time. Something about all of it was off. I drove home to Florida on July 6th, and the image of him turning that corner has stayed with me ever since.
Is it, bro? I know I believe in paranormal experience. I don't care what nobody said. You know what I'm saying? I believe in that.
I never thought I would be the kind of person who double checks door locks or memorizes the sounds of my own floorboards. But that changed after 1 week last
And
winter.
everybody think it's cap. That's one thing about everybody. Everybody think that junk cap. You know what I'm saying? Tell y'all, boy. That junk ain't cap, boy. I'm telling y'all right now, boy. Telling y'all right now. Coming from the horse's mouth, bro. Junk is not cap. I know it'd be hard for people to believe. You know, people got a hard time believing in the supernatural. I don't know why. I just tell people, bro, look around. You know what I'm saying? Just look around, bro. You feel me? How could you not believe in the supernatural? I told y'all, bro, you look at everything like it's normal because you used to it. But, bro, where we're at, not normal. You know what I'm saying? You are supernatural, bro. When you go to sleep, like I said, you dream. You know, a lot of people have sleep paralysis. What the freak is that? What are you seeing? People that have sleep paralysis, you know, you should believe in the I ain't gonna say as a spirits. What the freak is that? Sleep paralysis is when you be awake and some demon, you know what I mean, just overtakes your body. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm trying to tell y'all this, bro. It's a true story. This just happened to me a couple of nights ago. Telling you, when you get closer and closer with God, gang, devil start messing with you. Start teasing, gang. This happened when I was off freaking YouTube for 5 days. Sick in my bed, y'all, bro. Sick and everything, right? I'm finna go to sleep. I'm telling y'all, bro. I'm in my bed, bro. This happened a couple days ago. I'm in my bed, gang. Bro, I'm telling you, while I'm laying down, I sleep with the lights off and everything, right? But my room don't be dark for real. You know what I'm saying? My TV light, got some light from my TV, you know what I'm saying, and all that, bro. So it don't really be dark. You feel me? I got a light from my TV, so that kind of be, putting light in my room. But bro, I'm gonna go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? And I promise y'all, like the freaking room just got darker, darker, darker. I'm just looking, bro. Like I'm just looking. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm on my back. You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking. I'm looking around. I ain't scared. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie. Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I don't get scared easy, bro. You feel me? I was just looking around. I was kind of interested a little bit. I was like, what the freak? Like, I'm looking at my room getting darker and darker and darker and darker and darker and darker. I was like, what the freak, gang? It was crazy. It was to a point I couldn't see nothing in my room, bro. It was getting darker and darker and darker. I was around like, what the maybe I was on some sick-ish. But I don't know. Right when I prayed to God, I'm telling you, my room got lighter, bro. True story, I'm telling y'all, bro. I started praying to God and all that, bro. My room got lighter. That junk wasn't getting darker and darker no more, bro. I'm telling y'all, bro, it's like I was in a dang black freaking portal for a minute, bro. That junk was getting dark than the mother effer, bro. You know what I'm saying? I was like, what the freak? Right when I prayed to God, bro, it just got lighter, bro. I'm telling y'all, bro. It got lighter and lighter.
I live alone in a small house I bought a few years ago, and my routine has been boring and predictable. I work from home, order groceries, go to the gym late at night, and I don't talk to my neighbors much at all. That routine is why it took me longer than it should have to realize something was wrong. It started with a noise I heard around 2:30 in the morning on a Tuesday. I was half asleep on the couch with the TV still on low when I heard what sounded like a soft thump near the back of the house. It wasn't loud enough to scare me, and my first thought was that something had fallen in the kitchen or...
And I ain't gonna lie, bro, my backyard is creepy, bro. That's another thing, y'all, bro. I had to say, bro, my backyard, bro, is so creepy, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because you got a house right here, you got a house right here. And, you know, we got a light. The neighbors got a light, bro, right there. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, bro, when I be looking outside of my backyard, I be thinking I'm going to see like a woman standing in my backyard or something. You know what I'm saying? It's just creepy, bro. It's like, I don't know. It got a lot of trees. My backyard, I got a lot of trees. You know what I'm saying? Got a lot of trees, bro. And it's a light. It's like it's dark, but it's like a spotlight. Like a light. You know what I'm saying? It's like you can see, if somebody was standing in your backyard, you can see that mother effer. You know what I'm saying? So, bro, I'm telling y'all, bro, yesterday, bro, it was something in my freaking, the devil, bro. I can't stand this mother effer. Bro, it was something in my freaking back. It was something, bro, the devil, bro, it said, look outside. Something, bro, I'm telling y'all, bro, yesterday, bro, something was freaking, I was in this room. This is my office. I was in this room. Something just said I was doing something. So, you know, it was dark. I'm talking about something in my head. Look outside. I was like, heck no. I know that wasn't me in my brain. I know that wasn't me in my brain. You know what I'm saying? I spoke back to that voice. I said, heck no. That boy said, look outside. I was like,
the house had shifted.
I was like, oh, heck no.
We all hear sounds like that in the house or apartment once in a while, right? I muted the TV so I could listen. Nothing else happened. I checked the back door, made sure it was locked, and went to bed. The next morning, I noticed the back door felt different when I opened it. The deadbolt still worked, but the handle felt loose.
Oh, shoot.
Like it had been twisted too hard. I made a mental note to fix it later. That night, I went to the gym around 11 p.m. like I usually do.
God, Lee, boy. Boy, go to the gym. Dang, 11 p.m., boy. You a late shouter, huh?
That night, I went to the gym around 11 p.m. like I usually do. Side note, I like an empty gym, and I got back around midnight to 12:30.
That makes sense.
As I pulled into my driveway, I noticed my porch light was off, yet I always leave it on. I stood there in my car for a few seconds trying to remember if I had turned it off earlier, and I convinced myself I probably did. Inside, everything looked normal. I walked through every room just doing an innocent little analysis before going to bed, something I had never done before. On Thursday morning, I woke up to my alarm and noticed my phone was at 12% battery. I always charge it overnight, and I clearly remembered plugging it in. The cable was still connected to my phone, but the charger was no longer connected to the outlet. Weird. I told myself I must have knocked it loose in my...
Hey, I had to look over to my side, make sure my phone connected to the charger and my outlet. You know what I'm saying? I had to take a little look to the left right quick. Let me see if my phone's still on the charger.
Sleep. But that explanation didn't really make sense because my phone was still on the nightstand.
How long I been streaming, chat?
With me. At that moment, my only explanation was I picked up my phone in the middle of the night, accidentally yanked it off the outlet without realizing, and set it back down. I started paying closer attention after that. That night, I stayed up later than usual, sitting in the dark with the TV off, just listening.
That sound, bro.
Around 3 in the morning, I heard slow thumps coming from the back of the house. Footsteps? I asked myself. Nah, it can't be. I held my breath, but the thumps seemingly stopped. After a while, I convinced myself the thumps came from outside.
Hey, bro, stop convincing yourself, bro. You talking about you in the suburbs, bro? Hey, bro, stop convincing yourself. You know what I'm saying? Honestly, bro, you gotta understand the suburbs are the first place where thieves go. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna rob people in the hood. They know them motherfuckers ain't got nothing. They coming straight to the burbs. Come to this burb house. Come to this burb. You know what I mean? You gonna get burb.
In the suburbs, there's of course other people around, even at night. The next day, I found muddy shoe prints on the floor near the back door. The thing is though, the footprints weren't clear. Like I couldn't distinctly make out patterns of the bottoms of the shoes, which made it look like someone tried to wipe them off before walking around. My stomach literally skipped a beat. I stood there staring at them, trying to understand how they got there.
Me, how they got there, bro?
I hadn't had anyone over. I hadn't gone outside in muddy shoes. I checked the back door again, and this time I noticed faint scratch marks around the lock, like someone had used something thin to pry at it. I called the locksmith and told him I thought my lock was failing. I didn't say anything about the footprints. He replaced the lock that afternoon and told me everything should be fine. That night, I pushed a chair under the back door handle and slept with my bedroom door locked, something I never did before then. I woke up just before 4 in the morning to the sound of something tapping lightly on my bedroom door. It wasn't a knock. It sounded like someone testing the door with their fingertips. I stayed completely still, staring at the door, my eyes burning because I refused to blink. The tapping stopped after a minute, and then I heard soft footsteps moving away. I didn't sleep after that. In the morning, the chair was still under the back door, but the back door itself was unlocked. The new lock wasn't damaged, it had just been turned, and that's when reality truly set in. I wasn't just imagining these things like I thought I was because I was tired. Someone had been inside my house while I was asleep and knew how to unlock the door from the inside. I called the police and tried to explain without sounding insane.
They can't do nothing, bro.
They checked the house, looked around the yard, and told me there was no sign of forced entry. But yeah, that was kind of obvious given that I changed the lock. They suggested I might have unlocked the door myself without remembering. I knew that wasn't true, but there was nothing they could do either way. That night, I stayed awake with all the lights on and a kitchen knife on the table in front of me. Around 2 in the morning, I heard something from down in the basement. The basement door, which was just outside of the kitchen, was cracked open. I felt an overwhelming sense of dread wash over me. I stared down the hallway to the cracked open basement door. I walked over to it, peeked down through just what the crack in the door would allow me to see, and I swear it was not my imagination. I saw either at the bottom of the stairs or maybe one of the bottommost steps, the outline of someone standing there. I don't know if they were looking up or not. When I realized what I was looking at, I slammed the door shut and sprinted out to my car. I sat in my car as I once again called 911. After police showed up a second time, they entered while I waited in one of their cars. They brought him out of the house in handcuffs a few minutes later. He was barefoot and wearing dark clothes that looked like they had been slept in. He didn't look at me once. I just don't think that he noticed me in the back of the car. They put him in the back of the other car and shut the door. I stayed outside while more officers went back in, and I refused to look at the guy in the back of the car. I was actually shaking. Even as I talked to the officers, I was stuttering in shock. It took longer than I expected for them to finish the rest of their search. When one of the officers finally came out, he asked how long I had lived there. I told him a few years. He nodded and wrote something down. He asked what time I usually went to the gym and which nights. I told him. He looked back at the house and told me they found food wrappers and bottled water behind the furnace in the basement, along with a phone charger plugged into an outlet down there.
Oh, we're living down.
He said it looked like someone had been sleeping on the concrete using old insulation as padding. The man hadn't spoken a word to the officers. The main officer I was talking to told me the likely charges the man would be facing, but that ultimately it would be up to the district attorney. Eventually, they told me I could go back inside. It was days later that I was going through my camera roll to send my friend something when I found a very, very disturbing picture.
Oh, shit.
At first, I had to process how a picture like this could be taken.
Try to tell y'all this real life. This real life. Y'all, this is real life, man.
At first, I had to process how a picture like this could be taken.
That's you?
It was a picture of me, in my bed, sleeping, taken at 3:11 a.m.
What the freak?
It was the same night that I woke up in the morning to my phone being unplugged from the wall outlet. the nightmare became real all over again. I contacted the unit listed on the incident report, and they asked me to come in to digitally transfer the photo for supplemental evidence.
Could have killed you right
I
now.
was told that with this photo, he'd likely be facing additional charges such as stalking or even being registered as a sex offender for life. All good things to hear. It doesn't save me, however, from the trauma I'll forever have to live with thinking back to this shit. I'll never be able to go down into a basement alone at night again in my life.
Look at, man. You know what I'm saying? Y'all folks just be safe, man, out here, man. That's all I gotta say, man. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna react to one more vid, man. We're gonna end the vid at 10:30. You know what I'm saying? But man, y'all folks be safe out here, man. Like I said, man, it's either you or them.